What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today, it's all about electric vehicles. So here we have our 2018 BMW i3, and we need a way to charge it when we're down here at the country house. Look, there's Roxy. Hey, Roxy, what you doing, beauty? What you doing? You just running around? You just running around exploring? Dog runs this area. Yes, she does. She's a good girl. She's a really good girl. So the problem is we've got the 94 amp hour battery in the i3. It's also a Rex, so it's range extended, and thanks to some coating, we have the extended range on the fuel tank, as well as the hold charge to keep the battery where you want it and run off of gasoline. But at the end of the day, it's an EV. We want to run it off electricity as much as possible. So in this video, the goal is to show you exactly what you need and how easy it is to do it yourself. So I purchased a level 2 charger, and this is the stuff you're going to need to install your level 2 charger yourself. I chose to go with the NEMA 1450, which I think is probably the most common type of outlet. We've got some yes, hi Roxy. We got some Romex. This is 50 feet of 6.3. All right, this stuff is about $140, which is why I went with 50 feet instead of 100. You can pretty much do this any way you want. As far as circuit breakers go, obviously you're going to need a 50 amp. I bought two different ones because I wasn't quite sure what I had in my shop, so I wanted to be sure I had the right ones. You're also going to want some, these probably aren't quite the right ones. These are Coax Staples 7/16. They were actually pretty much out of stock at Lowe's of just about everything I needed. I got one of the last rolls of 50 feet wire that they had. 6.3, guys. You've got to get 6.3. NEMA 1450 connector that actually mounts to a wall. All right, so we've got that. We've got 50 feet of wire. We've got everything we need, guys, including a breaker box. Now, for the charger, this is what I went with. You can go with whatever you want to, but this is a must start. It's like $350 on Amazon. Prime had it delivered within like 2 days. Came with the 1450 connector, and you've got your, whatever that is, the J117256679, whatever. This is a 40 amp charger. 100 to 240 volt IP67. It's important to note this is IP67. This is not. You do not want this outdoors. Okay, leave this outdoors. This has somewhere around 25 feet of cable, and I've got 50 feet of wire. So originally, without coming down and doing any measurements, I was going to run it from my electric box up through the rafters, over, right there on that wall. Well, after coming down here and doing some measurements, I quickly realized that's not going to happen. I should point out one other thing you're going to need is one of these, okay? I don't know what it's called, but you're going to need one, and I forgot to buy one, so I will have to go get one of these, and I'll put it on. You know how that goes. I'll put it on later. Of course, don't do this if it's against code. Make sure you follow code for your county, city, whatever it is. Definitely don't want to have any code violations doing something like this. And if you don't know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing this because this is dangerous. You can burn your place down. You can kill yourself. It's no joke. So the first thing I want to do before you do this is definitely shut off the breaker. I'll get to that in a minute. But I think the route I've decided to go is we're going to run, maybe I can do it right here, that breaker at the very top. All right. We can run the wire out here. We can run it up, and we can run it down this beam. All right. We can run it behind the Mr. Cool units. And we can run it down here a little further, and we'll be 30 feet over. Each one of these poles is 10 feet apart. So right here at the outside of this Mr. Cool unit, maybe put it right here, that NEMA 1450, or right here is what I'm thinking. I think this will work perfectly. So we'll have this will be from here to here is 10 foot, from here to here is 20, from here to here is 30 feet. We've got 50 feet of cable. It's no more than a foot up. So 50 feet should be plenty to get this job done. So I'm going to get all my stuff organized. And by the way, I will have links in the description to all the stuff you need to do this in case you want, including the must start. This will charge just about anything. If you got a Tesla, just make sure you have that Tesla adapter that plugs on to this particular style of plug. Now I bought this obviously to charge the BMW i3 while I'm down here, because it is about 65 miles from the city down here, and I want to run it on electricity as much as possible. When I get here, I've already used up just over half of my range, so I figure while we're here, we can bring the car in, plug it in, and it can charge while I'm doing whatever I've got to do. And typically, I'll be working on something on the lift, so this bay should be wide open for the i3. Now, before we get any further into the video, I got to give a big shout out and thank you. This is not a sponsorship. To Doug from Tennessee, for sending me this AMC Matador. Really cool. Looks almost identical to the AMC Ambassador that we had on the channel here for a while. Big shout out to Doug from Tennessee. Thank you so much for watching me for all these years. And thank you for sending me this cool car, which I will add to my collection of cars over there. So if you're wanting to send something to me, to the channel, definitely ship it to AAR Auto Sales at 502 East Ripley, Ripley Street. That is Byars, B-Y-A-R-S, Oklahoma, 74831. Leave a note in there for me and let me know if you want me to mention your name or whatever on video. If you do, I will. And if you don't, I'll respect your privacy and I'll just appreciate what you sent me. Again, that's AAR Auto Sales. That is 502 East Ripley Street, Byars, Oklahoma, 74831. So I'm going to go ahead and just shut power off to the shop right now. These are the main lines coming in from underground, which come from my house's meter. So those right there, it's very important to remember, these are still live on my particular unit, the way mine is set up. These are hot, so you still don't want to touch those wires. Leave those alone. But we should be good now. We've shut power off to the rest of this. Should be able to pop one of these, probably this one right here. Looks like a good one. Let's pop that out and let's get our wire run. Let's show you how you can do this literally, guys. People probably think this is so complicated. You're going to knock this out, I would bet, within, let's say, within 45 minutes, and we'll start the clock right now. The time is 2:48. 2:48. 45 minutes. Step number one, I'm going to find that happy little plug right there that I want out. I'm going to come at it from the top, and I can't. There we go. I can do it one-handed. Reach up in there and just kind of careful. This can cut you. This is sharp metal in here. Wiggle it back and forth. Hey, there we go. One down. And next, we'll get our breaker and we'll start our wire. All right, so to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and peel this outer insulation back here. I want to cut it off. Careful that you don't actually cut up the wires inside. Just like that. Peel this back, and remember, guys, black is not ground. Okay, in the housing world, black is not ground. Okay, you have red, which is hot, black is hot, white is neutral, and copper is ground. Okay, just like that. Pull that little stuff away from there. Let's strip these real quick and get these ready so that we can plug them into the circuit breaker. All right, so now it's time to take your wire and stab it through the nice little hole that you made there. All right, and it fits nicely. It's important to remember you got to cut it pretty far back because you're going to have to run your neutral over to this side, your ground way over here, and because there's no lugs here, we're going to have to run the breaker down to here. So I cut the insulation pretty far back to make sure I had room to accomplish all this. So as I said before, and this is kind of hard to do with the camera in my hand, but we're going to just kind of run this wire down, being mindful of the fact that these are still live. All right, and like I said, you're going to have your ground here. You can plug your ground into any one of these. At least that's how it is on mine. All right, plug it in, screw it down. Then you're going to want your black and red, all right, to be down here. And your neutral, we're actually going to cut this maybe just a little bit more, but your neutral is going to run over to here where all my other neutrals are tied into right there. So white, copper, black, and red right here. All right, now that we've got that done, I think it came out pretty good, right? We've got our two 120s right here wrapped around. They're not in the way of anything. They come down here and they run into our happy little 50 amp breaker. We've got the neutral coming out of it running here. I had to be very careful going behind here. I ran that all the way to the very bottom, lug right there. And then our ground coming in, the nice beautiful copper wire right here, running to right there. So we've got everything. We've got our 120 volts, which gives us 240. We've got our neutral, we've got our ground. We took one of those little clips, and we nailed that up, and now it's simply time for me to take this wire and run it all the way down there, and we're like halfway done. Well, I may have been a little too optimistic, but you can see we got the wires run, or wires run all the way. Let me tell you, that was fun. It took more time to run these wires where I wanted them than it did to actually install anything. Now I've got the wire right here. We still have, as you can see, we got plenty left over, because this is where I plan on putting the NEMA 1450. Here's your NEMA 1450. It has a very large flathead screw in the center. Okay, you unscrew it, you drop it out, top comes off. Inside you have your hardware. This is the hardware that I'm missing for my breaker box that I'm going to have to buy. Now you can use either one of these. It's got one on the back, a plug on the back, a plug on the bottom. Simply insert a flathead screwdriver into one of those slots, twist it around, and it will come out, and you can run your wire through there. Now, I'm trying to figure out where I want to. I'm thinking since we got the wire coming in, we'll just take it right off the top. We can mount this probably like right here, or we may even be able to mount it a little lower. I don't know. We can mount it here. We can mount it right here. I'm going to figure that out. But once you figure out where you want to mount it, pull that plug, some screws right into the wood, and you can run your wires. And it's pretty simple, guys. Green, ground. Each side is going to be hot. Doesn't matter. It could be red or black. Red or black, doesn't matter. So on these side pins, these are your 120 volts each. So it doesn't matter if the red one is here or if the red one is here, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Obviously, green is ground. This one will be your neutral. Okay, ground is going to be the bottom pin. Neutral is going to be the top pin. And your 120 on each side is going to go here. It's really that simple, guys. That's it. I'm going to cut the cable to length. Make sure to cut. These are, this is 6'3". All right, so you're going to need some good dikes, cutters to cut these. You ain't going to cut these with your regular household wire cutters. Figure out where you want it, run your wires, and we'll come back and see what time it is, and we'll flip on the breaker and we'll try it out. All right, guys, we've got it run down here. I am going to put another one maybe over here. I put this one in, but that didn't end up working out. I'll have to take that out. Now, as far as my goal of, I'll take that out later, of being done by 3:45, didn't quite work out. It is 3:59. We are done. It's wired in, but I did lose a screw, so I'm just gonna, this is all stuff that we'll do it later. Well, I'll go to Home Depot or Lowe's and I'll buy a couple of these little kits here so I can put the screw in it. But all that's left is just putting this on like this, and I decided to mount it upside down for a reason. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, why would you mount that upside down? Golly, that's a... Anyway, I'll get that on there in a minute. But that's what it's going to look like. And it's upside down because this cord that runs this unit, which you see the unit is right side up, but the cord comes from the top, okay? And if you notice, the top of the NEMA plug goes in like this. So I mounted it upside down so it would actually fit this properly. So here's what I've decided to do. I got my goal was to get that done within about 45 minutes, and we close enough, guys. We did it. So we've got this run. Next, I've got everything connected. My level 2 charger's connected, and because of this weird beam here, it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So what I decided to do, the Must-Start comes with these. Yeah, they're not pretty, but they'll do. You screw these into the wall, about here and here, and then you will take this and you will stick it in, one in right there, and one in right there, okay? At which point then you put a bolt and a nut and you secure it so that this doesn't pop out. Then I'm going to put my hook over there with the spool, and we should be able to pull the car in, flip the breaker on, and see if it works. And that is a wrap. The total time, it is now, it's 4:16. So, come on. There you go. 4:16. So honestly, for installing our own NEMA 1450 connector, the wiring, the breakers, installing this Must-Start 40 amp charger, the wall hangers, everything all together, that's not bad, guys. And trust me, if I could do it, you could do it. But like I said, make sure that you're not violating any codes. Make sure you're working safely, unlike me. All right, it's that time, guys. Ready? Okay, nothing's on fire. Look for smoke. No smoke. Everything's good. Yeah. All right. So as you can see, once again, we got the wire all the way up there, running to here, where of course I'm missing a screw, but I will eventually take care of that, to down here, and here we go. She's on. It's probably hard to see, it's a little light in here, but it says 24 degrees Celsius, 40 amps, 242 volts. You know what it's time for? It's time to plug the car in and see what rate it charges at. I'm hoping to see about 7 to 8 kilowatts. Let's find out. Now, we made sure to run the car almost completely out of juice before we got here, so, and I think I'm gonna pull it in frontwards and see if the cord reaches. I bet it will. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys, I'm gonna pull this in forwards because I wanna see if that cord can reach all the way to the back, because honestly, nobody likes backing their car in to charge. I don't care what they tell you. Nobody does. So let's pull her in front ways. And, oh man, I love this little car. All right, as you can see, it is 4:21, so we're gonna do this real time. We're gonna go ahead and unhook this off of here. We're gonna take the cord with us, and we're gonna see if it'll reach. I think, will it? Boy, maybe just barely. Yeah, it will. It'll reach. Very, very nice. Should start fly. There we go. She's charging. Let's go into the car and let's see what the car thinks about it, and then we'll go see what rate this thing is charging at. It says, okay, we have 17 miles, so we're practically empty. And it says it'll finish around 8:52 p.m. Now, keep in mind, that's to fill it all the way up. Okay, most of the time, you only want to get to 80%. It shouldn't take that long. So we're going to let this thing charge. Let's go over to the unit itself. Let's see what rate it's charging. I think the i3 kind of caps out at about 7.7, 7.8 kilowatts. You probably can't even see that. And it's doing that weird woo down your screen, and I can't make it stop. But anyway, power is flowing at 7.6.7. Okay, it's bouncing around. Anyway, it's charging right now at right around 30 amps, and it is putting out 7.8 kilowatts, 6.8, around between 6.8 and 7.8 kilowatts. Definitely limited, unfortunately, I think, by the BMW i3 itself. If you had a Tesla, I'm sure the Tesla would take every bit of what that charger is capable of. So you're probably wondering, why did I buy the 40 amp charger? I could have just bought the 30 amp charger. And you're right, but buying the 40 amp pretty much future-proofed me. I now have the wiring all done, so we've got a future-proof charger in the event we get either a Tesla or a newer version of this someday. We'll be ready. We'll be ready for it. I'm gonna let this thing charge for a while, guys. Remember, 4:21 is when we plugged it in. Let's see where it's at when we're ready to leave. So I've decided we're gonna go ahead and pack it in. We finished all the stuff we were gonna do while we're here. It is now 6:22. Honestly, I forgot how long it's been since we started charging. 6:22. All right, let's put our cat back on, then we'll go into the car and see how much range we got. Thankfully, I have that Rex battery. I'm gonna leave this sitting right here for now. I'll roll that up and put it back properly here in a minute. Let's see how far we got to go, because I believe earlier we were down to 16 miles of range or something. And we are now at, oh wow, almost 70 miles. That's impressive. That's really impressive. That we weren't even charging that. What were we charging for? An hour and a half, maybe? I don't know, guys. Comment below how long I was charging for. I don't remember, but wow. Wow, we got 70 miles. That's plenty to get me home. Well, guys, I know it was a fairly short video and there really wasn't that much to it, but that's kind of the point of making this video. I wanted to show you that, number one, you don't have to be scared of buying an electric vehicle or I don't know what a range extended vehicle or whatever the case may be. You can go ahead and get one. You can install this stuff yourself as long as, you know, again, it's legal to do and not against code. Thankfully, with a house that I have here out in the middle of nowhere in the country, you don't need any conduit or anything like that, and you can do this stuff yourself, guys. Just like I said, don't violate any laws and then go trying to tell them that I told you could, because you can't. Check with your local city for your ordinances. Easy enough, right? It didn't take that long. It's done, and we managed to get some charge on the car at the same time. So I'm going to get out of here before it gets too dark. I'm going to head back to the house. I want to thank all of you for watching. I will have links down below for the stuff that I used or something comparable if I can't find links to the stuff that I use. That way, if you want to do this yourself, you can order it up and get everything delivered right to your door. Do me a favor, if you like the content, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down button. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not currently subscribed. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Auto Auction Rebuilds. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all very soon in the next one.